So you guys, the Chicago Bears just got a huge win, actually several of them. But with that, there's a little bit of a worry involved. And I don't know about you. Let's rip off the Band-Aid. I like to get the bad news first. And you may have heard about this before now, but guys, it's kind of looking like Chicago Bears number one cornerback Jalen Johnson. It's looking like he's going to miss all the preseason. And when these things happen, it's very possible he could miss some regular season action here. Head coach Ben Johnson just talked to the media this morning at Hallis Hall. And this really happens just days after Jalen Johnson was talking about in the media that he couldn't wait to get to this season. He was kind of trying to talk about playing this season to kind of leverage a little more money out of the Chicago Bears. He was talking about how the market for cornerbacks is absolutely exploding and hinted at perhaps he was underpaid. I probably agree with him, but I'd like for him to have another really, really good year for the Bears to really pony up more money for him. He's been such a bargain. But it's just one of those things. Chicago Bears head coach Ben Johnson, he gave an update on injured cornerback Jalen Johnson just this morning, and it really stretches the timeline today a little further than the team originally gave before camp began. So we ripped off the Band-Aid. We got the bad news out of the way. Let's get to the good news. And the Bears passing game is presently just absolutely putting on a clinic. Today was the best day of practice for my starting quarterback, Caleb Williams. And before I get to the meat of this, I just want to kind of share something that my buddy Joe sent to me. Thank you so much, Joe. You're the best. The media likes to concentrate on the negative, right? All of these articles, all of these videos talking about the fact that Caleb Williams had 2 interceptions in one practice. Later, it came out that Ben Johnson was actually kind of setting him up to fail on those couple of series, letting defenders come free off of both ends from every different direction to not only see how Caleb Williams would react to that and how he can improve on his reaction to just freed up guys running straight at him, but also really tooling in the defense. So it was a purposeful trap play, these 2 interceptions. Also, he had some difficulty completing passes on that particular red zone drill. But once it got to 11 on 11, he did much better. Anyways, it's just kind of ridiculous because while the media was focusing on those 2 interceptions, through 3 practices, Caleb Williams had 96 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions in practice. So big surprise. Media loves to focus on the negative. So let's just kind of get to what's actually happening here. And this is as Caleb Williams gets more and more confident in this new offense, right? We're looking at his young weapons finally being in camp. Colson Loveland, he's making plays. He looks like he's ready to go full bore. And now Luther Burden, he's getting accustomed with this offense. So now we're looking at our quarterback. He has all the offensive weapons that he's going to have at his disposal, and they absolutely lit up practice today. So they had a great Monday practice, but his best practice in camp happened on Tuesday. And now we have some even more good news of how practice has progressed since then. So Alyssa Barbieri, she gave her takeaways from training camp practice, Caleb's performance in her latest Bears Wire piece. But here's just a little comment from that. Technically, this was the same takeaway from Monday, but it's once again true as quarterback Caleb Williams had another impressive practice with the pads on. You can see how much he's working on the play action game and getting his head turned around to get his eyes where they need to be. Caleb wasn't perfect, but you can see clear improvement. So a lot of focus on this Tuesday practice, but I want to give you some really good news here. He almost connected on a deep touchdown to wide receiver DJ Moore, but cornerback Kyler Gordon, he was called for defensive pass interference. So I'm just trying to give you some details here. He's really building his bond with Rome Odunze and Colson Loveland. And before Tuesday's practice, head coach Ben Johnson, he talked about Williams' progress to this point. He actually talked really well about all the work that he's putting in and how well he is bought in to this program and how he's starting to see dividends on the field. Ben Johnson knows exactly how to cultivate a quarterback, how to cultivate talent, and this is just a really good sign. And I want to kind of look to this story that I had up previously from Yahoo, kind of looking at what people have to say about what's actually happening here in these practices instead of kind of focusing on the negative here. Stuff like Courtney Cronin, one of the leading voices here. Passing game is firing this morning. 2 deep ball completions of note from Caleb Williams to Zacchaeus and Robo Dunze in 11-on-11 drills. That's from today's practice. Bears passing game is absolutely putting on a show. This is from Michael Dewoldziak. Caleb Williams placed a deep ball beautifully to Luther Burden III and then found Zacchaeus for a long completion off a scramble. Burden having his best day of camp, making catches absolutely everywhere. I wish I could show you guys the highlights, but licensing does not permit me to do so. Clay Harbor, some nice throws from Caleb. Avoided a Montez Sweat sack to throw a perfect ball to Zacchaeus for a big gain. Finished with a nice pass over the middle to DJ in the red zone. And Luther Burden just having a really, really good day. So good to see this. A timing route to Romo Dunze deep down the sidelines. A nice zip pass to Miles Boykin. Just for people that were there, and I wish I could have been there personally, just a really, really, really nice thing to see here from your quarterback, Caleb Williams. So we've got kind of some difficult news with Jalen Johnson. He is put on the non-football injury list since before training camp began. He suffered a leg injury while training in the offseason between the end of OTAs and before training camp began. And here's straight from Johnson. I think there's a scenario where he'll be ready for week 1. That's really the target date. I know he's working hard and diligently to get there for that. And with those types of injuries that he has, you just never know. We're looking at a player that recorded 48 tackles, 2 picks, 7 pass breakups, and 7 tackles for loss. That's really good numbers, but it was actually a down year for Jalen Johnson the year before. QBR rating against him, honestly, statistically, numbers-wise, QBR rating-wise, quarterbacks were better off absolutely throwing the ball into the dirt than throwing in Jalen Johnson's direction. And that's absolutely crazy. I don't think that's changed as far as who this player is. I think with this Dennis Allen defensive scheme, it's absolutely uber aggressive. We just need to get him. Healthy. The good thing about him being out is that we get to have players like Zay Frazier, huge-bodied, fast corner with the ability to play safety as well. He's going to get a little more playing time. We're going to look at Terrell Smith getting a little more playing time. And we also have some fringe guys on this roster that maybe this negative thing with Jalen Johnson being out, it can actually be a positive for more of this roster to retool and really get ready for the season. Some of these lower roster guys, they're going to get live reps. They're going to get preseason action. And maybe we're going to find a diamond in the rough as we have in the past. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. As always, I'm going to continue to be here on the daily. Sorry I've been gone for a little bit of this week, but I'm going to continue to give you Bears news on the daily. Thank you so much for being here. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It's an incredible blessing to me and my family. We appreciate you guys always. And bear down. I'll talk to you tomorrow.